I'm all in. Told you what I have.
There's no way, 3 times?
I showed these guys.
Yeah. Shit, I think he's good. I thought he was bluffing.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, evening for me, depending on when you guys see this, it might be morning or afternoon. But regardless, it's a good freaking day. Good day to be alive, that's for sure. As you guys can see, we are on the road, another road trip, and I'll give you guys one guess to where we're headed. I'll give you 5 seconds. Think real hard. If you guys guess Vegas, you are wrong, 100% wrong. We're gonna do something a little different today. I remember telling you guys a while back that one of my goals for the year 2024 was to expand on places where I play cards, different places around the country. And today we're just gonna do just that. We are on the I-25 right now, headed down south, gonna hit the I-10 all the way to El Paso, Texas. A few weeks ago, I was on the internet just searching on different places, close places to play cards. And El Paso was one of the first ones that popped up. It's the closest. It's maybe 3.5, 4 hours away from where I live. And I called a few of the card clubs just to make sure that I can film, because that would have really sucked to get there. And they tell me, sorry, sir, you can't film because whatever policy. But I did call, I did confirm. So we are gonna get some new content for you guys, a different location. And let's actually see if Texas poker is as hyped as they say it is. And I'm really looking forward to it, something different. But I'm gonna put my phone away and concentrate on the road. Like I said, we're about halfway, so another 1.5 hour drive. But I'll keep you guys updated for when we get a little bit closer. So yeah, I'm gonna focus. Peace. All right, guys, just giving you guys an update. We're about 15-20 minutes out, and thank God, because I am sick of driving. But something that I just want to share with you guys that I saw about 40-50 miles back, I saw about 6 or 7 cop cars, lights flashing, and a couple ambulances, fire trucks, and there was 2 vehicles that one was crunched beyond belief and one was flipped over. So always remember, be thankful for what you have, be grateful for what you have, because somebody out there is having a worse day than you. No matter what kind of day you're having, somebody out there has it worse. And if you really think about it, you have it pretty good. So always remember that. I mean, I could go on and on about being grateful and thankful for everything that you have, but I don't want to do that because I want to get to my destination safely. So that's what we're about to do. But I just wanted to sprinkle some positivity in your day, in your life, and always remember, be grateful. But like I said, we're about 15-20 minutes out, so we will get there very soon. We finally made it, guys. I don't know if you can see the sign behind me, but we're at Sun City Poker Club or Card Club here in El Paso, Texas. And it is freezing and it's just starting to sprinkle again. It was raining when we came in and it's starting to sprinkle again now. So let's just go inside, play some cards. I'm super excited to get started and play for my first time ever in the state of Texas. And as soon as I walk into the card club, it had a really big home game vibe to it. Everything about this room, the colors, the layout, the modern look, it was just super chill. There's an open seat available as soon as we get there, so we start off with $700 and take our seat. It's a 1-2 no limit, match the stack game. And you know, anytime it's matched to stack, it could get wild. And right off the bat, the very first hand, there's like a 3-way all-in pre-flop. So I'm like, all right, let's strap up. And the first hand we get involved in, we're in middle position. There's a few limps to me, and we look down at ace, queen of spades. I bump it up, I make it 15. Folds around to the cutoff, he makes the call. Small blind makes the call. The under the gun limper makes the call. And the under the gun 1 makes the call. So 5 ways to a flop. And it's the perfect flop. It's ace 2-9 with 2 spades. So top pair, great kicker, and nut flush draw. I'm like, all right, who wants to get it in? I'm ready, let's go. It checks to me as expected. And I want to make a C bet, but I don't want to make it too big and scare anybody off. So I just throw out $30. We get 2 callers, the cutoff and under the gun. So 3 ways to a turn. And we don't have to wait very long for our flush because it comes a 7 of spades. The under the gun checks to me for a second time. And I debate whether I should check and hope they catch up or throw out more money. But it seems like checking is just a big amateur move. And when you have strong hands, you want to get paid. And you want to get the max as well. But in order to do that, you have to build a pot. So that's what we do. We throw out another bet and we make it 45. Again, don't want to make it too big in relation to the pot, wanting them to continue basically drawing dead. The cutoff gets out of the way. So the under the gun is our last hope. And he thinks for a few seconds, assembles all his chips and puts them in the middle. I obviously snap call and table my cards. Wish he had a little bit more money in his stack. But new location, new environment, it feels pretty good to start the session off on the right track. The next hand we get involved in, we're on the button with pocket queens. It folds around to us and we raise it up and make it 10. The small blind gets out of the way and the big blind thinks 10 is not enough, so he raises to 50. He's in seat 1 and I can't really see his stack, so I ask him to move his hands so I can see all his chips. And he has about 100, maybe 110 behind. So I just decide to go all in. He basically snap calls and I ask him if he wants to run it once or twice. And we finally agree to run it twice. We table our cards and we're a 4-1 favorite. The first board ran out clean, but he spikes a jack on the flop on the second board. So kind of anticlimactic, but it is what it is. It's kind of disappointing being a favorite to scoop, but you know it'll make it better? Yep, a massage. It's one of the many perks that this card club had to offer. Massages, free drinks, free food. I mean, what more can you ask for? This hand we get involved in about 30 minutes after that massage, and we actually get involved with one of the dealers named Josh. I mean, how cool is that? The club owner and the dealers sit down and play when the table's not full, just so there's always constant action. I mean, New Mexico has to get on board because they're doing it right down here in El Paso. We're in early position with queen 8 of diamonds. I raise it up, I throw out $10. Folds around to the cutoff and he calls for 10. The button and the small blind get out of the way. On to Josh in the big blind and he actually raises to 45. We're in position on him and it's been a while since we've gotten involved. So I make the call and the cutoff gets out of the way. So heads up to a flop and it comes king 9-6 with 2 diamonds. Not a bad board. We have a flush draw, backdoor straights, but the king high board favors him more than it does me. But surprisingly, he actually checks. It kind of throws me off a little bit. I'm expecting him to make a C bet like 100% of the time. I'm kind of already thinking ahead. If I check back the flop, I'm kind of giving up the betting lead. And if I brick the turn, I might have to call off a bet and not really knowing where I'm at. But if I bet the flop, I can take over the betting lead. And if I do happen to brick the turn, I could potentially see a free river by checking it back. So those scenarios are going through my head and we do decide to bet. We throw out $30. Luckily he doesn't raise because that would be kind of sick and put me in a really tough spot. So on to a turn and it's the best card in the deck. It's the ace of diamonds. Not only do we hit our flush, but if he had a hand like ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, he now has top pair. He checks to me for a second time and we got to throw out another bet, this time for value. So we assemble some chips and throw out 75. He doesn't take too long to make the call. So I think we're spot on our read on the situation. So just looking for a brick river and it comes as the 4 hearts. So even though we theoretically only have the second nuts, we 100% have the best possible hand in the situation. Because there's no king X of diamonds in his big blind 3-betting range. King queen of diamonds isn't a possibility because I have the queen of diamonds. And based on how the hands played out thus far, there's just no way I'm beat. So when he checks to me for a third time, now we just have to figure out what sizing to use. There's around $300 in the middle. So we think about it for a little bit, maybe a little bit of Hollywooding, and come up with our decision and announce 155. We go around half pot, so a little bit of an enticing number, because again, we're targeting ace X, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, hands of that nature. He thinks about it for about 20-30 seconds and finally puts in a chip for a call. I table my cards and we take it down. We later discussed the hand and he told me he had ace king. It's a little after 1 a.m. and we get dealt another premium, pocket jacks in the cutoff. There's a middle position raise to 10. I bump it up, I make it 40. The button gets out of the way. The small blind calls the 40 and the initial raiser in middle position folds his cards. So heads up to a flop and it comes 4 ace 6 with 2 hearts. It's only one overcard and we have the jack of hearts to fall back on, backdoor flush draw. So when he checks to me, we're gonna make a C bet and we make it 30. He makes the call. And when he calls, he actually dark checks the turn. So he checks even before the card is even turned over. I take this action as weakness, more of a draw type of hand. So when the turn comes, a king of spades, another card that's better for me. And also all the draws miss. So gotta keep my foot on the gas and charge those draws. So I make a bet and throw out 75. He makes the call for 75. So onto a river and it pairs the board, 6 of clubs. He checks to me again for a third time, and if my read on the situation is right, he's not gonna call any bet with his missed draws. So I take my third pair to showdown and check back. He flips over his cards and he has ace 9 of spades, so pair of aces, and he caught his 3 outer. So nice hand, he takes it down. You can't win every single hand. All you can do is make the best decisions you can at the time with the information that you're given. We chip down for the next hour or so, and it's already 2:30 in the morning at this point. So I just decide to call it a night, rack up, and cash out. Winning a couple $100 on the session, but not to worry, getting a good night's sleep, and we're back at it the next day. But before we get into day number 2 of poker on our El Paso trip, you know us, we gotta hit the gym. Actually, our very first time at Crunch Fitness to hit a little chest workout. It ain't no Matty Ice gym, but they had some good pieces of equipment there, things that I haven't used before. Sticking to the theme of new environment and new places, it's always good to switch things up from time to time. Remember, variety is the spice of life, keeping things fun and exciting. After a really solid workout, I was just super hungry and really craving sushi for some reason. I asked all the staff there and even some of the members if there was a all-you-can-eat sushi nearby, and none of them seemed to know of all-you-can-eat. They didn't even think that was an option. So I just Googled buffet nearest me, checked if they had sushi, and that's what we did. That was good. Oh my God. And I'm not even that full, to be honest. I mean, I feel good. I haven't eaten out since April of 2023. I don't know if that's sad or that's an accomplishment, but I just like to eat my own stuff, and I eat a lot, so I don't eat out ever. I mean, $20-$30 for 6-ounce steak, it's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, I need 4 of those just to be full. So I guess when I do go out, I go all you can eat, all out. And yeah, that was amazing. But about to head back to Sun City Card Club and get into the mix. Hopefully there's a game going. There should be. It's Saturday, so it'll be all right. But yeah, we're heading that way now. Let's get it. So stomach nice and full, and we're ready for some cards. We get to Sun City Card Club around 6 p.m. and there's only a few of us there. So we agree to buy in for $200 and start playing. It doesn't stay 200 for too long. Remember, it's match the stack. And yesterday's session doesn't come close to how crazy this session's about to get. The first hand we're gonna go over, we haven't quite got a full table yet, so we're still shorthanded, but it's a double board hold'em bomb pot. We flop top 2 pair on the top board and top pair good kicker on the bottom. So really liking our hand and our position. Both blinds check to the end of the gun, and he throws out a bet, throws out $10. Action's on me, and it's impossible for me to be beat on both boards. So I throw out a raise, but I only make it 35. I'm not trying to scare anybody off with this raise. I'm really just trying to build a pot, entice them to put more money in, either with a call or with another raise themselves. Both blinds get out of the way, and the initial raiser, the end of the gun, calls 25 more, which was kind of weird because he only had around $50 behind. So I kind of figured he would just put it all in if he's gonna go with his hand, but he just makes the call. It doesn't really matter what the turns are because there's less than a half pot size bet left to play for. But when they come, it's kind of overkill because now we have top 2 pair on the bottom board as well. So when he checks to me, I just announce all in and he pretty much snap calls. I tell him I have 2 pair and he says he has 2 pair as well. So I know I'm ahead because I have the best top 2 pair. He's drawing dead on the bottom board and we dodge a 3 on the top board, so we scoop. Another one of those situations where wishing the opponent had a little bit more chips in his stack, but oh well. That hand was pretty standard, double board, hold'em bomb pot, but here at Sun City Card Club, they play a game that's anything but standard. They call it Oma Stud. It's kind of a combination of Omaha and 7-card stud. Depending on how many players are involved, they could either play with 5 cards or 6 cards. So everybody puts in $5 pre-flop, just like any other bomb pot, but this situation, we're dealt 6 cards. And kind of like in a double board bomb pot, you have to win both boards to scoop or win the entire pot. This is kind of the same situation, but in order to win half the pot, you have to have the best hand in your hand, if that makes sense. So the best 5-card hand that you're physically holding. So in my case, I have 2 6s and 2 5s, so I have 2 pair. So if somebody has better than my 2 pair, they would win half the pot. And then the other half of the pot is just like a normal Omaha hand. You use 2 of your cards and the 5 community cards on the board to make the best 5-card hand possible. So we're in the big blind this hand, and the flop comes 7-7 queen rainbow. So try to stay with me. We still have our 2 pair, 6s and 5s, that's in our hand, in our physical hand, and now we have 3 of a kind on the board. This is a brand new game to me, different style of play, and I don't really know what to do. So when the small blind checks to me, I just throw out $20, because maybe that's the standard. Again, I have no idea, but the cutoff calls and the button calls. So 3 ways to a turn, and it's the 3 of spades. It puts a full rainbow out there, and I'm first to act, and I don't really know what to do, whether to bet or check. So I just decide to throw out more money, and I throw out $60. The cutoff makes the call for $60, and the button, who only has $80 in his stack, goes all in. Not much of a decision. I throw in 20 more. The cutoff does as well, and onto a river, and it's the Jack of Hearts. We both decide to check, and all the cards are flipped over, and the button scoops. He has a bigger 2 pair than we do in his hand, aces and queens, and he uses his queens for the board for queens full of 7s, so he takes down that half as well. It's a little confusing at first, but once you learn it, it's a really cool game. It's something different, and I'm always up for something different, and it brings in a lot of action, so why not? After that Oma stud hand, more players show up, and we buy in for 500 more, so in the game for 700 total. It seems like all these hands we're going over are not normal straight up poker, because this one is no different. It's another double board hold'em bomb pot. We're in the low jack this time with jack 6 offsuit. Everybody puts in $5 pre-flop, and the top board is 3 ace 4 2 clubs, and the bottom board is 5 6 6 rainbow. We don't really have much on the top board besides some back doors, but we have trips on the bottom board. So there's some maneuverability. The blinds check to the end of the gun, which throws out a bet. He throws out $20. There's a middle position call for 20, action on me. And I learned over my time playing bomb pots that it pays to be aggressive in these situations. So I decided to bump it up, and I actually announced pot, because with all these Oma stud and Omaha double board pot limit this, I kind of just had it in my head that it was pot limit for some reason. So I announced pot. They laugh and quickly tell me that it's no limit. I'm like, oh, well, I already said pot, so what's in the pot? So it was around $120. So that was the raise, $120. Folds to the button, who calls $120. The initial raiser, the end of the gun, folds his cards, and the middle position to my right makes the call for 120 as well. So 3 ways to 2 turns in between 2 opponents, and the top board doesn't improve us at all. It's the queen of spades, but the bottom board does improve us. It's a jack of spades. So the bottom board, the one we're really going for, improves us to the second nuts. 6 is full of jacks. Only one hand beating us on that board, pocket jacks, and there's only one combination of that, so highly unlikely. The guy to my right in middle position only has $70 left in his stack, so he announces all in, and I only have around $200 on top of that $70 bet, so I take about 5 seconds and I announce all in. The button shrugs and calls, and I announce I have a full house, 6 is full of jacks. And surprisingly, the button had king 6, so he actually had us beat on the flop.
You have king 6? 70
Oh,
for the
shit.
main, guys?
Nope.
So we get extremely lucky to spike that jack on the turn, and we hold to take down half the pot. All right, this is what you guys have been waiting for. Some craziness is about to happen, so buckle up. At this card club, the straddles can be up to $10. So in this hand, there's the under the gun straddles to 10. The under the gun 1 limps for 10. The under the gun 2 limps for 10. And there's a middle position limp for 10 as well. I'm next to act in the hijack, and we look down at pocket kings. Definitely not slow playing with all the interest behind me, so I bump it up and make it 50 to go. It folds around to the under the gun straddle, who calls my $50 raise. And next to act, the under the gun 1 actually goes all in for $65. The under the gun 2 and middle position get out of the way, and can't really do much because it wasn't a big enough raise to reopen the action. So I make the call, and the under the gun makes the call as well. So heads up to a flop with the second best starting hand in poker, and the flop comes 5 6 queen 2 diamonds. So we flop an overpair. The under the gun first to act, expecting him to check to me majority of the time, but he actually throws out a bet. And I don't even think he counts out all his chips. So whatever he had in his hand, and it actually came out to $75. He has around $200 behind the $75 bet. And I don't really want to raise here and let him off the hook, because if I raise here, he could potentially fold even top pair mediocre kicker. So by him showing this aggression, he's going to be the one probably to put the rest of his money in either on the turn or the river. So I just smooth call, hoping to not see a diamond on the turn, and it's red, but it's a heart. It's a 9 of hearts. The under the gun first to act again, and he actually checks this time. He slows down. Checking this back is definitely out of the question because the stack to pot ratio is kind of weird. So now I'm just debating on how big of a bet I should make. So instead of basing my decision on how much is in the pot, I kind of go off of my opponent's stack. So I make it half and I make it 105. He takes about 10 seconds and folds his cards. I show the table my kings. The guy that was originally all in, the under the gun, has jack 8, so need to dodge a 10 on the river. We do, and our kings hold, so we take down a decent sized pot, stacking a player. The guy that was all in rebuys for $200, and you just have to listen to this audio.
Alright, I'm gonna gamble like crazy now.
You and me, one hand.
What do you want to do?
Gamble.
Let's go.
Come on.
Everybody okay?
Sure. I won't. Unless I have aces, then I'm just kidding. I can't.
You know I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I won't.
Fucking dealer.
I won't look.
So as he heard, him and seat 9 kind of jokingly agree that they're gonna go all in blind. So $200 all in blind, and ask the rest of the table if they're okay with it. And we're all kind of like, yeah, sure, I won't look. I mean, I'm fine with that. I've seen people do that all the time, and respectfully that we just don't look at our cards and fold, and they do what they want to do. So they're kind of like half joking, but at the end of the gun still open raises to $100.
Did you look or did you didn't look? You looked.
And you heard I even asked him if he looked at his cards, because if he didn't look and him and seat number 9 were just gonna do all in for $200, I wouldn't have looked. I would have just folded. But since he looked at his cards, I look at mine and I have pocket kings again. So I'm the one that raises to $200.
I would ship it, flip him over so he can fold.
You know I'm gonna call.
Say, yo. You put my
Again?
Once or twice? All right. I'm just. I asked.
Always run it once.
That's, yeah, that's fine. Courtesy.
It was a little bit of a sweat, him flopping top pair, but our kings hold again, and we stacked the same guy back to back. The guy buys in for $300 this time, and the very next hand, I cannot make this shit up.
Oh shit. I have it again. I have kings. Not lying.
You have kings again?
I do.
That's bullshit, bro. I'm not gonna believe
Look,
you. I'm not gonna believe
I'm not
you.
bullshit.
Wait.
I'm serious.
I owe you for with Larry. It's rubbing off.
I guess.
So I kind of lie a little bit saying I have kings, but aces, pretty close. So I open raise big to 25 because having back-to-back-to-back premiums is just unheard of. And of course they don't believe me, so the same guy that we stacked twice already raises to 100. I'm like, am I dreaming right now? I have the best starting hand in poker. I over 10x open raise, and a tilted player raises a third of his stack, who I've already stacked twice and doesn't believe me.
Oh, I'm all in. Told you what I have.
There's no way. 3 times?
I showed these guys.
Damn. Shit, they did. I thought he was bluffing.
I'm trying to be a nice guy, showing my cards to my neighbors, saying I got it.
Got a 2-4.
Well, he would have won 6-3, so I don't want.
No gamble, no future, right? You gotta get something back.
I kept that game.
You're all in already, right?
Yeah,
Okay. You see, I have terrible cards right now. 5-4.
You're live.
Let me see.
But they're not suited.
There could be 5-5. 8-3.
I didn't believe him on kings.
6-7-8.
Larry, he's at kings like this is the third time.
I was back-to-back kings, and then this hand. You're live.
For 3 seconds.
I know, right?
Be nice, show one.
No,
I already said.
I'm here to gamble.
Yeah, it's on.
I'm gonna record this one too.
Hey, I don't see your YouTube.
I'm gonna record this one too.
All right.
Just for future's sake. That you know, if I ever show my kid that I'm here to gamble.
Wow, no gamble, no future is right. Calling it all off with 5-4 offsuit. You gotta give respect to the guy for gambling, but our premium pair holds again, and we stacked the same opponent. And this wasn't even the craziest thing that happened that night. The same guy continued to play like that, and ironically, he actually made a hell of a comeback. So I guess sometimes it does pay off to play like that. Unfortunately for me, nothing too interesting really happened after that. Not getting the best of hole cards, especially when players are open raising to 50 or 100, it's kind of hard to combat that. So after another long session, we rack up our chips and cash out. That is it, guys. That's it for the session. I'm gonna get into the numbers right away, so I get that out of the way. In for 2 at first, then I bought back in 3, or added on, I guess you can say 3. So in for 5, out for 11.02. So not a bad profit, not a bad session. Played for 5.5 hours. Those hands that you saw, kings, and then aces back to back to back, was just insane. And he's calling 5-4 offsuit. I'm like, yes, please. I mean, if you saw towards the end, his stack was rising and he was playing the same way. And I just couldn't catch anything towards the end. The last hour, I was just trying to be patient and I couldn't catch anything. No pairs, no ace, nothing. I mean, just couldn't call. I mean, can't really call $100 pre-flop playing like that. I mean, I like to gamble, but that's on a different level. So I guess you can say that Texas poker did live up to the hype. I'm glad I came out here, just here for a couple days for the weekend. I'm gonna head back tomorrow. Not too far of a drive, like I was saying, 4 hours, so might come back. But like I said, one of my goals for 2024 was to expand different places around. I just happened to start a little bit closer to home, but I do want to go to other places, maybe a little further in Texas, Dallas, stuff like that. But if you guys have any suggestions on where to play and where's good to play, leave them down in the comment section. I'd really like to get some ideas from you guys, and hopefully I can play with some of you in the future. So that'll be awesome. But yeah, it was awesome here in El Paso, Texas, Sun City Card Club. If you're in the area, definitely go and check it out, because this place, I mean, it's like a home game vibe. I mean, free food. I mean, I don't drink, but yeah, free beer. They had some good looking food. I mean, if I didn't go to that all you can eat place earlier, then I might have had some, because it was looking that good. But it was fun. I'm just tired. I had a long couple days playing cards, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, give the channel a sub, please. Trying to get that 1K mark. Been doing this 4.5 months now and almost at that 1K. I mean, we'll see what comes in the near future, but that's first and foremost, trying to get that 1K mark, 1K sub. So leave a comment, like it, do all that crazy stuff so it can reach out to more people, and hopefully this channel can grow and grow. Another goal of mine is to let it grow so I can go back to my home city, and maybe if it does grow enough, I can start playing over there again. I mean, they need to catch up with the times. I mean, I don't understand why filming is such an issue for them, but whatever. But yeah, I am going to crash, eat first, you know me. But yeah, then I'm gonna crash and drive back tomorrow. So if you guys seen this, then I made it back safe. But yeah, remember, always be grateful. It's a blessed day you woke up today. But I'm Matty Ice. This is Gaines Poker. Peace out.